Let's welcome back in the powerhouse panel on this Thursday morning. Former Nevada State GOP chairwoman and Republican strategist Amy Tarkanian, attorney, Republican strategist, and Turning Point USA contributor Aaron Elmore, National Advisory Board member, Project 21, Christopher Arps, and constitutional attorney and Newsmax contributor Amir Benno. How about those intros, huh?
A lot of titles.
I know, a lot of titles there. Keep them coming, Aaron. I like them. Aaron, are you an attorney?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. How am I just?
Oh yes,
we
I'm
talk all the
born
time.
in the great state of Pennsylvania. I keep up those credits.
Good. Keep
so
that. Do you have reciprocity in other states or just PA?
I was in New Jersey, but I just let it go. But Pennsylvania, you can wave into several other states. But where I'm living now in Florida, I'd have to take the bar exam again, and that is not happening.
Yeah, my in-laws is an attorney in New Orleans, and I'll tell you what, that Cajun bar, that Louisiana bar, I guess, is wacky. Amir, you know what I'm talking about. All right, speaking of which, somebody might need an attorney. How about that for a transition? In North Carolina, this is what Joe Biden, and this is how easily this happens. It happened over toilet paper 15 months ago. Now it's happening over gas. This is North Carolina. Take a look. So yesterday, gas line outside a station. Looks like a warm day, but all of a sudden things got really, really violent. My goodness. Yeah, we don't have sound, obviously, because it's just a cell phone video from afar, but this is all over gas. And Amir, this is a good look at and it's going to get worse before it gets better. The pipeline is back up and running right now, but North Carolina, get this, over 70% of gas stations in the state of North Carolina are out of gas. So more than 7 out of every 10 gas stations. That's how bad it is. Gas prices right now, still the highest that we've seen in almost a decade, the highest since Joe Biden was vice president, by the way, and he still wants to raise the gas tax, Amir, something we haven't seen since 1993. Is now really the time to be doing that?
According to the Democrats, it is. And by the way, that video, it reminds me, back when Hurricane Sandy happened, I'm, in New York.
Right.
I saw the same sort of things, lines outside of the gas stations when there was no supply, fights erupting as people's tensions sort of escalated. But this is what the blue states are doing. Here in New York, Governor Cuomo is trying to push, and the Democrats in the state legislature are trying to push these green policies that will ultimately raise the gas tax in New York by 127%. They want to get to a $1 gas tax per gallon, which would make it the highest in the entire country. It would well surpass California. And this is their plan. And talking about pipelines, in New York, as it is in other blue states, they have completely forbidden the construction of pipelines, which delivers gas cleanly and cheaply. So rather than promote these efficiencies that would reduce costs at the pump, they're going in favor of these green energy ideals that are going to skyrocket. They're going to raise taxes on everybody. It's the precisely wrong time to be doing it.
Chris, how's the situation in Missouri right now? You're in St. Louis. Right now, according to Gas Buddy, over 1,000 gas stations. And the number, they just haven't updated the number. That was as of midnight last night. But over 1,000 gas stations are without fuel right now across America. Most of them are east of the Mississippi, by the way.
You know, Rob, to quote St. Louis and Yankee great Yogi Berra, it's like deja vu all over again.
Right.
You know, I was 13 years old in 1979 when we had high gas prices, inflation, and conflict with Iran. It's 2021, and we have the same things again. You know, I'm a little worried. Starting tomorrow, we're taking a trip to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for a week vacation, and I'm terrified that we're not going to have any fuel getting there or get stranded coming back. So real tough situation. I know the pipeline has been restarted, but it's going to take a few days to get that fuel back into the system and to replenish those gas stations.
Aaron, I thought you'd love this when I heard our Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm make this comment yesterday about the best way to transport fuel. Take a listen.
The pipe is the best way to go, and so that's why hopefully this company, Colonial, will in fact be able to restore operations by the end of the week, as they have said.
Okay, she said the pipe is the best way to go. I remember January 20th, all right, about 6 hours after Joe Biden took the oath of office, he signed an executive order terminating all construction on the Keystone pipeline, you know, from Canada to Montana all the way down ultimately to Texas. I thought the pipe was the best way to go, though.
Well, Joe Biden clearly isn't listening, or better yet, Joe Biden's handlers clearly aren't listening. What they intend to do is put gas on trucks and gas on trains, which we know is far more dangerous. And by the way, the job loss from Canada to the United States from the Keystone Pipeline ending has been devastating. This is not what we need to create jobs. All they talked about on the campaign trail was creations of jobs. And guess what? Getting rid of the Keystone Pipeline is not the answer. He said to the hardworking people of Pennsylvania, oh, just learn how to code. Just learn how to code. Do you know what those people think about that? It's an absolutely ridiculous assertion.
Right.
And now look what we have, gas shortages. And when you showed that video earlier of the two individuals fighting, that really hit me to the core. This is what's happening to our American brothers and sisters fighting over gas. And the most prosperous nation in the world that, as you said earlier, was energy independent just 4 short months ago. I really hope neither of these people voted for Joe Biden because, honestly, what's going on here? Every Democrat should really think right now when they're driving around to these gas stations and they are looking for gas, they should really think hard about their vote because he has created this whole entire manufactured crisis.
You know, and it goes back to former President Donald Trump, too, and it's sticks and stones. And I used to say, listen, if you don't like what he says on Twitter, don't follow him. You know, don't be on Twitter, whatever. But I can tell you what, you know, besides he might have been, you know, you might not have liked what he said and you might not agree with what he said all the time. All right, don't forget, this is not a career politician. This is not a guy like Joe Biden that was a bureaucrat. He was elected in 1972. That's how long he's been in Washington. There's no more swampy swamp creature than our current president. And I don't say that to be mean. That's just a fact. He got elected to the Senate in 1972. That's a long time ago. President Trump was a businessman. Amy, we've got inflation. Quickly, I want to touch on this. Kevin McCarthy weighed in on inflation yesterday. Take a listen to what he had to say.
But what I really want to work on is making sure turning this economy around, getting people back to work, back to school, back to health, and back to normal. I believe in the vaccine. That's why I'm not wearing a mask. I want people back in school. The other thing, too, you have to understand, those numbers we heard today on inflation, that should terrify every American. Because it's not a question of whether there's going to be a tax increase. You just had the biggest tax increase you've had in more than 10 years, and it hit you already.
Inflation, Amy, 4.2%. Quickly, we only have about 10 seconds before the break, but what are your thoughts?
Right. Well, we are in trouble. We're seeing it not just at the pump, but we're seeing it in the grocery stores and we're seeing it with lumber. And so the fact that we continue to go down this route, it's going to be completely devastating across the board for our nation.
Yeah, you're right. Try going to Home Depot and buying lumber or something like that. You're exactly right. Great point. Panel, great conversation as always. We'll pick this back up at the top of the hour. Looking forward to that.